My name is Desharia. I'm a 17-year-old junior in high school. I'm a Black woman, and I constructed a project about the issues of Black women in society, whereas they're being mocked and discredited, but not only towards Black women, but women of color in general. And I think it's something it should be like I think it's something that should really be talked about. People should listen. People should understand how we feel, what we go through on the daily, the disrespect we receive on a day-to-day basis. I think it's very important because we have feelings too. And I asked 2 to 3 people a few questions about how they felt about this certain situation, those 2 being Black women as well. And yeah, here are their answers.
Is it easy to talk about your discomfort? No, not in the slightest. And a lot of the times, I don't feel as though that I'm heard. And I don't know. It's just like, even talking to other Black people about it, I feel like they don't hear me. I don't know if it's because I'm younger or what about it, but I never feel really heard. Like, oh, I agree with you. I agree with this that you said. I agree with that you said. But there's not really a real conversation happening. You're just agreeing with me. There's not a conversation happening. And even when we do have those conversations, it's like I still don't feel heard because they have to bring up the history of it, or they have to bring up the other side of it. Like, it's hard. Speaking about discomfort isn't easy altogether.
The term professional Black woman, it kind of makes me feel frustrated and upset because when you think about the term professional Black woman, it's Black women who look a certain way. Because Black women are put to a higher standard, when trying to be professional, they have to talk a certain way, have to look a certain way, have to act a certain way. They can't act themselves because they have to fit under this professional Black woman.
As far as my entire opinion about this, like the question I'm asking and how I felt about this project, I only brought this project I only ever thought about it because it happened to me, and it felt degrading. It feels like you have to be seen as a certain type of person to earn a certain type of respect. Everyone's like, when you're in the predicament of being told, oh, you sound different, or you look different, or you look angry, you look aggressive, it puts you in a sort of sensitive state of mind, because it's like you're just appearing as your normal self. So if your normal self is seen as aggressive to everyone else, how can you really feel comfortable in a place of work, in school, amongst friends, with family? I mean, I don't like it. I don't like being told I look aggressive when I'm just trying to do an assignment. I don't like when I'm going to an interview and I'm getting nasty looks from a supervisor because I'm not what they expected. And I think people, I really do think people should take into consideration what they say, how they say it, because you don't know how you make someone else feel. Words really do hurt, and people don't realize that.
Okay, some history about CPS, or the Chicago Public School System. In 1854, John Doerr, a Boston teacher and principal, becomes the first school superintendent. By 1870, The enrollment is more than 27,000 students. The Chicago Teachers Federation is formed in 1897. This is what we know today as the Chicago Teachers Union. In 1969, teachers go on the strike for the first time. In 1995, many things happened, but this is when Mayor Daley named his budget director, Paul Vallis. You may know him as a mayoral candidate. In 1998, many charter schools opened in Chicago, and in 1999, the first campus of Noble Charter Schools opens. Okay, flash forward to present times, 2019. In 2019, we saw the longest strike ever happening from October 17th, 2019 to October 31st. That lasted 14 days. Many news publications like the New York Times and AP News were calling it the longest strike in decades. The goals of this strike were to get more benefits, staffing, wraparound services like counselors, nurses, and librarians, and caps on class sizes, all things to help benefit schools and make it better for students overall. State your name.
Teresa Ross.
What school do you teach at?
Jensen Academy.
How long have you been teaching?
This is my 18th year teaching.
Wow, that's a lot. How did you know you wanted to be a teacher?
I've always wanted to be a teacher since I was a little girl. It was either between a teacher or an attorney. And somehow I just got guided down the track of being a teacher.
Okay, what is it like to be a teacher in Chicago?
It is rewarding at times, it's disheartening at times. It's definitely one of the toughest careers, in my opinion, that there is to work, especially when you work in the inner city.
Okay, so what's the best part of it?
So when you see the light bulb come on for children and they have actual success, just the ability to work with kids and when they're doing well, when they're not doing well, and you're able to help in some capacity to grow a child.
That's good. Okay, so you know CPS is kind of like been infamous for their strike. So how does it feel to be a teacher on the picket lines?
Yes, CPS has been infamous for strikes the last few years. I feel empowered personally when we have a strike, especially when we're fighting for the benefit of our children and things that all schools should have, like a librarian or a school nurse or counselors and wraparound services in our school. I think Chicago public school teachers get a bad rap, and the narrative is always teachers are looking for money when it's always about our children. It's always about getting the things they need to be successful.
So do you think there's like a disconnect between teachers and how people view teachers in Chicago? And just in general?
Absolutely, but I don't know if it's just a Chicago thing. I believe maybe over the last 10 or 15 years, with maybe your generation, I just feel like teachers are kind of disrespected.
I think I would agree. People these days, I think they don't really have care and appreciation for teachers and what they do. And yes, there's obviously bad teachers, but a lot of good teachers, they have the most important job, I think. So yeah, okay. So what do you want people to know about Chicago teachers?
I want people to know that Chicago teachers are the most caring, giving individuals that you will ever come across. I know people or or teachers, I should say, um, who make sure students eat every day, who make sure students have the clothing and the shoes that they need. Because our children don't want to come to school if they don't have clothing or shoes. I know teachers who make sure our students eat. Some of these things are, you can't even teach them if they don't have their basic needs met. And there are teachers out there who are meeting the basic needs of our students, and a lot of that is not announced. A lot of that goes unnoticed. That teachers have to support students. I'll just say, just last week, I have a student who's going to luncheon and she doesn't have any clothes for luncheon, or her parent can afford to buy her clothing. I bought her dress. I bought her luncheon dress. It came yesterday. She tried it on at school, and she was just so thankful that she had somebody to look out for her in that way. And I'm always happy to do that for my students.
Yes, I think the teachers are also an extra mile. So what do you think that CPS could do to help aid these teachers in doing things like feeding the kids and just helping them out?
So I just think it happens with budgeting. I just think there's so many wraparound services that we need. I don't know if it's a CPS one size fit all that will help our children. I'm not sure, but I know parents need parenting classes. It doesn't just start when you drop your child off at school. There's some things that need to happen at home. Just lots of wraparound services for the trauma that our students are dealing with each and every day. The biggest thing that I see the need of in CPS are wraparound services for our children.
So when we say wraparound services, you mean like services that help aid the student as a whole, not just like at school?
Yes, the whole child. We have to get back to teaching the whole child, and if that means mental health, then so be it. That needs to be done.
Okay, so recently you kind of come into a new position as an interventionist. So could you tell people like what that is and why it's important?
Okay, so I work with students who may need extra support, but I also do enrichment as well. I have the opportunity to work with all kindergarten through eighth grade students. I have student groupings and students whom I pull out, and those are students who may need extra support. But I also push in with teachers to help out with small group instruction. I progress monitor students. Those students are tier 2 or tier 3 students. Tier 3 students are students who need the most academic support, and we progress monitor them just to see how they're progressing in the curriculum that's being taught. Yeah, so just the ability to work with many different students, whether it is intervention or enrichment.
So do you think that the interventionist was position, it's a very new position, right?
Yes, it is.
Do you think it was added to help coming back to school because of the pandemic?
I absolutely do. It's a pandemic position. Our school actually has a second interventionist for the school year coming up, and it is a much needed position because our children you are absolutely able to see the deficits that our children have due to COVID this school year.
So do you think that is kind of the problem with a lot of students not respecting their teachers because they've been away from COVID and the pandemic?
No, I hear that a lot. I just think it's generational. I think parenting needs to happen. I don't know if it's because of COVID, children are suddenly disrespecting teachers. Um, no, I don't agree with that. I just think it's things that happen in the home.
Uh, there you go. So, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Madeline Torres. I am a senior at Amundsen High School. And yeah, I'm a member of Taste the Difference.
So, what is Taste the Difference?
So basically what Taste the Difference is it strives to give back to the community. While it does mainly focus on like food insecurity and helping people through, for example, like food pantries and stuff like that. We also do like other community-based work. For example, I think last month or the month before that, we had volunteered at a cat shelter around the school, and it was really fun getting to like know the community members and also helping out like local organizations and things like that.
Okay, that sounds good. So what do you do in like Taste the Difference?
So I'm part of kind of researching different things to do, like upcoming projects and things like that. Um, there's a couple steps that come with it, like researching like different things we can do within our community, and then based off that, like what are like ethical considerations we have to like consider, and things like also knowing like background or like gaining background knowledge on the topic or the organization as well is really important to us. And a big part of what I do, we also like advertise at our school as well. So sometimes we have like functions or drives like that. And I'm a big part of, or I have been a big part of this year of like making posters and things like that to like hang around our school, letting know people about the different things that we have going on currently.
Okay. So, how do you feel about like mental health? Like, what are your perspectives on that?
Um, I think mental health is important. I feel like it plays a big role in how like individuals like functions and things like that. Um, and yeah, it's very important. Um, and not only can it affect like not only your mental health, but like other things as well that are like going on in your life, which I think are important. And yeah.
Okay. So, what has Taste the Difference done for like topics about like mental health or something like that?
Well, we have collaborated with another club in our school, which is called Best Buddies. And they basically are like a club that's like centrated more towards like helping those that are like on the spectrum and like things like that. And so we've come together to kind of like help spread like positivity around the school. For example, we've made like inspiring posters or like mental health awareness posters, things like that. And yeah, it's been really, I think it's made a little bit of a difference because like as you're walking around school, you see all these positive and like motivating like posters around the school. And yeah.
So, what does like mental health mean to you, and how do you like want to give that back to like the community?
I think what mental health means to me is being like mentally okay, I guess, and like kind of like centric to yourself. Um, Kind of like being the best you can be, without, and I know like sometimes mental health and like issues do get in the way of that. And it can cause problems for others, and it can be very hard to like deal with that kind of stuff. And that's one of the reasons why I like being part of Taste the Difference, because I know that like things such as like food insecurities, or if you don't have like the proper resources, it can really like disrupt your mental state. And just giving people the resources enough to thrive, like physically and therefore like emotionally, brings me like a lot of joy doing.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much for this. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hello, can you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Justin. I'm a senior high school student.
So, have you heard about Taste of Difference?
Yes, I have.
And are you a part of that club?
No, I'm not.
So, how do you feel about the mental health awareness acts that they've been doing recently?
I think it's a really good thing that the club brings awareness to mental health because there's been a noticeable decline in many people's mental health, especially due to like the pandemic and stuff.
Yeah. So, if you were part of the club, what are some things that you would do that could possibly like help out?
I think I'd probably try to work with the school to find a way to improve the overall mental health of the students. Like maybe we could give them extra time off to focus on their well-being. And I know I'd especially like extra time off.
hmm So, what does mental health mean to you?
Mental health is really important to me because it maintains many parts of my life. I think if I'm having a real bad day due to my mental health, I'm not going to get a lot done. And as a result of that, it's going to keep like making a decline in my mental health. But if I'm having a really good day, I'm going to be productive and that's going to really help improve my mental health.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.